let's get started. So, we are very proud to announce the Hostaway Insurance product that we've been working on together with our partner, Safely. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and I hope you're interested because this is a great topic to talk about. A little bit about us here: we have a big team in addition to these three, but these are going to be the three main stars here. My name is Marcus. I'm the CEO and co-founder here at Hostaway. We got Maria, our VP of Product, and we got Josh Lowe, our Chief Customer Officer. I'm based in Miami. Maria is in Barcelona, and Josh, I believe, is in San Antonio right now. Quickly about Hostaway, we are the leading all-in-one platform for property managers. We got tens of thousands of property managers using us around the world. And on the next slide, I wanted to share a bit. We've actually grown our team a lot. Just today, this morning, much better than finding a cockroach was finding out that the website the G2 awarded us one of the fastest top 100 growing software companies in the entire world. We are doing extremely well now and growing fast, and we are growing our teams, and we have set up the structure so that we can assure if you're a customer of Hostaway that we continue developing the product and continue providing the great support. And one of the secrets to our success is that we're a 100% remote company. So we got almost 250 employees in 51 countries, with a couple of hubs that you see here on the map. But now let's move on and talk about insurance. Just one little advertisement I'm going to slip in here. One of the key aspects of running a property management business is making sure that you get distribution, that you get guests to book your properties. That's why our value is our customer success is our success. And in addition to our booking engine, we make sure that we have the top connections to these OTAs that you see here on the screen. And they have actually awarded us with the highest tier of partnership based on the quality of the connection, the reliability of the connection, and actually in terms of dollars, how much money you make by making sure the connection is through Hostaway. So that's it on the introductions. Once again, welcome, and remember to use the Q&A function here. Now I'll hand it over to Josh.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus. So as Marcus said, our customer success is our success as a value we hold deep here at Hostaway. You know, Marcus mentioned that we are the leading property management software for short-term rentals. What that means is we're the largest and we're the fastest growing still year over year. And the reason why we've been able to be so successful is because we make sure that our customers are successful too. That's what continues to grow our platform. So a few years ago, Marcus came to me and he said, look, I need you to look into insurance. We've got customers that are asking about it, and I need to know why. And I need to find a solution, right? So when our customers ask about something and they ask for something in our product, that tells us we need to get after it and go find a solution for them. We had a partnership with Safely already. They were in our marketplace. So I started talking a little bit more in depth with their team about what a more like solution would be so we could solve for all of our clients, right? And that drove us to where we are now, just a little bit over 2 years later, right? So it's exciting to be here 2 years later after we've gone through these exciting growth times and still talking about how do we make our customers' lives better, get them more money, save them more time, protect their business a little bit more. So the reason why we went after this is because our customers asked us to do it, right? So our customers were not able to get insurance with bigger providers due to a couple different reasons. Could have been because it was too expensive. They didn't have the number of properties, right? Some insurance providers want you to have, 100 properties before you can get covered by insurance. And then some of them just quite frankly didn't know that they needed insurance or what it mattered to even have insurance, right? So we went after it after interviewing a lot of our clients, after talking with Safely and some of our other partners, and that led us here, right? So we made insurance available to all of our clients in the U.S. So no matter how many listings you have under management, you can get Safely insurance, Hostaway Insurance powered by Safely. So what are the benefits of having insurance? Let's go to the next slide there. So for some, insurance is pretty easy, right? You know that, hey, I need to be covered because something unfortunately has happened before, right? They've had issues before with guests that left them in a bad position with owners or just in bad situations with guests as well, right? So A quick story, I frequent a lot of the short-term rental Facebook groups and forums and all that, right? And later this, or yet last weekend, I was going through it. Something interesting came up that really fit in with this conversation. There was an owner that was talking about how he just submitted a $30,000 claim to an OTA provider for a 30-day stay somewhere in Colorado. There was his luxury property, and it was for couches and carpet and all this other stuff. And it was insane, right? Can't even imagine the stress that property management company was having to go through in talking to the owners, and also about their property that was going through that, and then also like the stress that they have to go through with am I going to be able to cover this? Am I going to have to come out of pocket, or I'm going to have to have an awkward conversation with my owner about this, right? So insurance is pretty easy once something like that happens, right? From now on, like, hey, I probably need to get insured, or figure out a way to protect myself from these conversations, this liability that's coming along with some of these stays. And for some, they haven't gotten to that point, and haven't had that wake up call. And I hope that this is a preemptive for you, because I hate that whenever it gets to the point where you have to have insurance, you're like, man, I wish I would have had it before then. So now is your sign, right? So you can protect your owner's assets and your relationship with the owners by making sure that you can take care of their properties without having to have a huge bill at the end of that stay, putting yourself in a situation where you lose the account, right? So you think about, like, if a guest comes and stays for a couple of days, they mess up the carpet or mess up a couch, right? They do something that's going to either have you go out of pocket, or you have to call that owner and say, hey, like, this happened to your property and it was under my management. It's too much for me to cover. And a lot of these companies that we've talked to, they bake that kind of like responsibility into the contract. But at the end of the day, if you're having to have that conversation and you're having to say, remember that you cover these type of things, or I cover these type of things in the contract, it still could be it could be a very negative conversation to have with one of your owners. So try to get in front of that with insurance, right? So a little bit of more story on that $30,000 owner, or not owner, but the property management company. They were submitting that claim. So this customer had to submit a whole spreadsheet. He had a screenshot of the spreadsheet, and it was literally like couch, carpet, another couch, this, and this. And the quote was, he said, like, hopefully this goes through. We don't have that high of hopes, right? So can you imagine, like, them having to submit this all, and then not even knowing it's going to go through that, right? Because you're going through not a legitimate insurance provider, but basically kind of like a coverage type deal. So with our platform, you don't have to fight with OTAs over this, right? So you pay for it to a legitimate insurance company, and they're processed quickly, right? It takes less than 5 minutes to make a claim. And 90% of those are paid out in 4 business days. So you don't have to worry about it, right? And that's one of the biggest thing you can get out of insurance is the, freedom of having to worry about things like this. Because she can't imagine what this guy's going through, right? Also, another thing is it's very high customer satisfaction score. So when we were partnering up with Safely, and we were trying to look at these different providers, which one do we go with? One of the reasons why we chose Safely is because they have such very, very high standards when it comes to taking care of their clients, right? They've done the whole, NPS, Net Promoter Score, customer satisfaction journey, and they have some of the highest I've ever seen out of any company, right? And you don't typically look at insurance companies and think, man, they really concentrate on their customer experience. You usually look at insurance companies and say, hey, how are they going to get over on me? How are they going to make more money and deny my claims? Well, that's not the case with Safely, right? One of the reasons why we partner with them is because they take that customer journey, that customer experience very, very, they rank it very high in the orders of how they're doing business, right? So you don't have to worry about, is a claim going to get processed through, like, stressing over, those type of deals, right? So we talked about those awkward conversations you got to have with owners. Well, you also might have to have awkward conversations with guests, and you don't have to have those either anymore, right? So if you have a guest come stay with you and they do something that, hey, I need to, get paid for this, right? You did something poor, or maybe the guest messages you and says, hey, I accidentally messed up, a sheet or a blanket, or, towels or something like that, or anything. And they're like, man, I hate it. You can just say, hey, it's no problem, right? You paid for the insurance. I paid for the insurance. Everything's covered. Have a good night, right? You don't have to have those conversations, right? And so these peace of mind that you get with insurance with a lower cost is what our customers are really saying as the number one benefit with insurance powered by Safely. Let's go to the next tier. And for me, I would say my number one benefit, and I wish I could see more customers doing this, is the most important thing, right? Already. So we did some research on this. Maria pulled some numbers this morning. I got up early this morning. I saw it. It was like Christmas all over again in February. But 40% of our clients already have set this up as an upsell. So that means you're making money on insurance. You're protecting your assets and you're generating more revenue, right? So whether it's $1, whether it's $5, whether it's $10 on top of how much you're paying for the insurance, you charge that on top, and you're putting that money back into your property or into your pockets as a property management company, right? We all know the property management companies have very small margins, right? So every dollar that you can put on top of a stay obviously is very important. That's what we do here at Hostaway. We try to find ways that you can make more money as a property management company. And so the last is a lot of our clients use this as a way to differentiate themselves from the competition, right? So if you're an owner, then your insurance, or if you tell an owner you're insured by one of the top STR insurance platforms in the country, and you will make sure the property is taken care of, well, this gives a lot of credibility to you, right? So you can do it in a number of different ways too, right? As far as charging, you can bake this into your contract, right? So you can say, hey, I'm going to charge you 0.5% more than Joe's property management company down the street, but we have peace of mind. Anything inside of it that happens, we're going to take care of because we're backed by Hostaway Insurance, right? So you don't have to worry about anything happening at your property, right? We take care of all that. You can also just pass along the fee to them, right? You could just say, hey, it's X amount of dollars per night, depending on what package you chose, and we're going to pass this along. You just pay for it, or you eat it yourself, and to earn the business, right? You can get creative with all these types of deals. So I've seen it done in all three of those different ways. We're very interested in to hear like what you guys are doing and what you guys are interested in. Our email address at customer success is just customersuccess@hostaway.com. If you ever want to talk about how you can benefit from getting more revenue, saving more time with insurance, but also with other things in our platform, we're more than glad to have that one-on-one conversation with you. Like Marcus said, and like I said earlier, as long as you're being successful, we're going to continue to be successful as a company. So we're heavily invested in make sure we're passing along information to you guys. So let's dive into it, Maria. Let's jump into a quick demo of the Hostaway Insurance powered by Safely.
Thank you, Josh. All right. So where does it all happen? It's very easy. You just need to go to the Hostaway dashboard. You will find here insurance in the main menu. You just go to insurance and click on sign up. Connecting is basically a couple of steps. Enter your details, and once connected, you will receive an email from our friends from Safely, telling you basically the conditions of the policy and some more details on it. So in here, well, basically you have, like I mentioned, just 2 steps or some information on the policy and just adding your personal details, personal information, accepting terms and conditions, privacy policies, etc., and click on Start My Coverage. So once that happens, you will see here that you become enrolled because automatically your listings will be approved, and we'll start covering all your listings included in the supported properties. There are properties that are not covered, and you can learn about type of properties, not properties, but type of properties. Right now, I think 97% of the listings onboarded on the Hostaway Insurance product are actually covered today. So, and you can have more details on what type of properties are here. We'll link into details on this. So your properties become enrolled automatically. And what means for reservations is that for any reservations after the coverage start that have a check-in in the future, those reservations will be covered. And also any new reservation that comes through the system after the coverage starts. So once you're enrolled, you can see here, you can go to the reservations page and see all of the reservations that are covered. We have a specific filter for it as well, either insurance and also for the claim status, because at all times you can see if you have to file a claim, what is the status of the claim. How to file a claim? That's a very important question. So very easy. And to just go to the reservation, something happens after the reservation checkout, you come here to the reservation page, navigate down and click on file a claim. I don't know if you guys can see the screen. Can you see the new screen with the form? Okay. So the form is also very easy to use. Just what happens, some information, required information. You add as much detail as possible. You don't have to add all of the details from the very beginning, but these you can actually add it later, and our friends from Safely would work with you on that. All right, from the insurance, once you enter your details, your listings get automatically approved, right? And we will start covering reservations, existing reservations that have a check-in in the future. from the point of time that your coverage starts. Then every new reservation that comes into the system will be automatically covered and enrolled into the insurance program policy. What else? From here, you can actually see, if you go to the reservations table, all of the reservations that are covered and part of the program. We have a specific filters for it on the insurance, also on the claim status, because at all times you will be able to see what is the claim, what is the status of your claim. There are 3 statuses, whether it's on draft, that is pending, approved, or the rejected in that case. So you have full visibility of what is happening with the properties and with the coverage for those properties. And then to file a claim is super simple. You just open the reservation page and go down into the insurance sections. And from here, you click on filing a claim. And this is the form that you will need to set to fill in with a few details in order to basically file this claim and send it to our friends on Safely. This form, like I mentioned earlier on, you don't need to fill it in completely from the very beginning, because our friends from Safely understand that you may be looking for information or you don't have the full information from the very beginning. So you can rest assured that you can continue filing more information for your claim. Anyway, once your claim is created on the side of Safely, you can come back here to the insurance part of the reservation, and you will see how the status of the reservation here as well. As I shared before, you can also see the status of the reservation here. This is a demo account, so I don't have any claims. My imaginary guests are not causing me any trouble so far. All right, so now, as Josh mentioned, protecting your properties has a cost, right? But you don't have to really bear that cost. And we offer you the possibility to monetize the cost of insurance through Hostaway and recoup the costs. And how can you do that? So the way of doing that is by adding a specific fee that we created for insurance. You can add it actually as a fee for the reservation, as any other fee. You can come here and find insurance fee, the amount, whatever amount. We have customers, as Josh mentioned before, setting their fees at $5, $10, $12, whatever. Just set the fee, the fee here, and decide the configuration. So the cost of insurance for Hostaway is per night. You can do limited this cost, or you can decide on the configuration. You may want to charge a larger amount per reservation or per guest per night. It really depends on how do you want to do this. And then you can also decide as well whether this fee will appear as a breakdown of the reservation to provide more visibility to your guest, or you want to include it in the base rate as well. Now, there is another option for you, because this option that I just showed is available for Verbo and our direct reservation channels. If you want to add the fee, and I see some customers do this as well, as an upsell, you can do as well. You can do it too. You can go here, create insurance fee, and follow the instructions on how to create an upsell. And in that case, you can have it the insurance fee or the insurance product. As in that case, it's more like a product that you would sell, or a service that you would sell through the selling process or the booking process. You can have it on the booking engine. You can have it on the guest portal, etc., and online check-in form as well. That's it. Go back to you, Marcus.
All right. Thank you very much, Maria. I guess we should get to the QA section here. Where do we start? So Adil is asking, is this just for the US? I'm assuming the answer is yes at the moment. So we are planning to expand to other countries. And I guess that means also that the property has to be based in US, or is it the customer?
It's the property.
The property, yeah. So if you have properties in multiple locations, you can only insure those for that are in the US.
We are working on Europe right now, and coming soon. Yeah.
There's a good, more technical insurance-related question from Vinod. He's asking if the numbers are per incident, or is there any limit to the number of incidents covered in a specific period? We do have Amber here from Safely. Maybe you can share this. What's considered an incident if a lot of things go wrong? Is it per guest or?
It's per reservation. So what we ask you to do is maybe have a meeting with either your cleaning staff or your inspector. And what you're basically telling them is whenever you go into the home after the stage, they don't want to start remediating or start cleaning if they assume that some of the issues are claims related. Tell them to take as many photos as possible, because with our program, there's 3 bits of information we need: a good description that tell us what happened, guest came in, knocked over a lamp, put a hole in the wall. We need photos showing that hole in the wall, and then we need a receipt or an estimate for the remediation or the repair of the hole in the wall. So with our program, it's very awesome that you don't have to make the purchase. If you give us a quote, we will take the quote. But there's certain things that we don't cover. I see another question asking about heating the radiator pipe failure. We don't cover things that are not guest related. Only when the guest damages an item is when we cover that item.
Thank you very much, Amber. And there's this question from Manuel that I think I can answer. He's asking, this insurance is only for damage while the guests are in your home, not the type insurance your mortgage company requires. That's exactly right, but it just so happens that this insurance product covers the gap where the home insurance wouldn't cover it. For example, a lot of insurances, let's say a typical home insurance would cover it if the house burns down, regardless of the reason, unless there's fraud involved. This is getting way too technical. This is why we have Safely here on the call. It's also a very regulated industry, which is a good thing. It means that when you buy this insurance cover, it has to follow all the different state laws, and it does so. But to answer the question here, so it basically covers the parts that guests are involved with, and that those are exactly the type of event. So typical could be that they eat food and it destroys the sofa, and it might be an expensive sofa and it might not be possible to clean it. Then you can get that replaced. But
Right.
yeah, would not cover anything that's not related to the guest.
Yes, but with our
Right.
we may ask you to repair the item first, or at least make a repair attempt before replacement, which is why we give you the option to not make the purchase, to actually get an estimate before you make the purchase. So I'll give you a quick example. Say, for instance, that same couch that was destroyed, you bought it from Wayfair. You go on Wayfair, you click all the way to the cart, you find a comparable item, and you can take a screenshot. That screenshot is going to show me the replacement couch, but it's also going to show me the cost of the replacement, the delivery, the taxes, and we don't want you to eat any of that cost. You take a screenshot of that. You technically did not purchase the item. We will accept that as an estimate. In addition, you get 60 days from the date of loss to submit the claim. So the date of loss, what we deem, would be either the last day of the reservation or in between, if something was to happen in between that time. But if you submit it after 60 days, we may not accept the claim.
All right, there's one more here for you, Amber, about the limits of number of claims. Is there a limit per reservation? Is it only one claim? What if there's several things happening?
So say, for instance, the guest came in, knocked over a lamp, put a hole in the wall, and damaged the couch. That would be one claim for that one reservation. And the main reason why we do it like that is, say, for instance, they completely destroyed the house. We don't want you to put in 1,000 claims for that one reservation. We just want that one claim. And in certain circumstances, you may want to maybe give us an itemized list of: couch destroyed, the cost; lamp destroyed, the cost. So it kind of helps us with the math, so that our math matches yours.
All right, Maria, Josh, do you want to take a few questions?
Yep. There's a good question here. If you make a claim for damage or loss, does your fee for insurance go up? No. Basically, your insurance cost will remain the same. So no matter how many claims you have to make. And there's another one here from Pascal as well. Is the insurance only valid for Verbo and direct bookings, or does it cover Airbnb, Booking.com, and partners as well? It covers all of the channels. What I mentioned earlier was about the fee, the insurance fee that you can actually insert in the reservation. That would only cover Verbo and direct sales, but you can upsell it for all the channels through the guest portal.
There's both Brandy and anonymous attendee are asking about strong smoke smell from cigarettes or cannabis or smoking in the home. How do you prove that? Amber, do you have any examples there?
Yes, so it really depends on the circumstance. So I'm a say for instance you have your own ozone machine. We do not cover that type of remediation because what we parallel that with is, say for instance, we're not paying you to use your own broom. Thus, we won't pay you to use your own ozone machine. So if you have your own ozone machine, that's not covered. However, if you had to use an external um, smoke remediation company, usually in their write-up, they will give us the details about the smoke. But those are the two circumstances as to how we handle smoke remediation.
Yeah, my friend Pascal had another question. I thought it was the same one Maria was answering, so I put it off the screen. So thanks for putting it back on, Pascal. To safely provide ID verification for our guests too, or is it straight insurance for guest damages? So Safely does have a ID verification program as well. Don't get me lying here. I believe they do. However, this is for strictly just insurance. I would ask Pascal that we take a look at what you're trying to do with ID verification. There are some things that you can already do inside of your Hostaway platform that might solve that for you, that you might not have to pay extra for. So reach out to customer success at hostaway.com. Happy to walk you through all that. But this is strictly for insurance. Now, there are other platforms out there that do ID verification, and I'm almost positive Safely does that as well. But that's not what this is. And also, Pascal had the question about where can we find limits coverage for the guest damages. If you click inside of your Hostaway platform and the insurance, it'll show you the different plans that you can select on each one of those.
I think Brianna's question here is so brilliant. I just have to ask it. I've been laughing here for a few minutes. If a guest breaks a glass, cleans it up, and doesn't tell us, we have no proof of the incident, but the glass is still missing, how would the claim work without a photo? I imagine that you would just take a picture of a table and say, look, the glass is missing. But Amber, can you share some stories on that?
A technical answer, and then I'm gonna give you what a property manager has done in the past. So technical answer is that we do not cover missing items. We only cover stolen or damaged items. So if you submit a claim and you say that the glass is missing, my team is going to send you an email back saying, was it stolen or was it damaged? So in your circumstance, you said that you don't have a photo because, of course, the guest cleaned it up, tossed it away. So I've seen, and this is quite funny, I put this in my presentation whenever I do it live, is I've seen where a property manager actually had a finger pointing to the cupboard of where that glass was missing. And she basically said, Amber is no longer there. It's either been stolen or broken. And that was the photo evidence that we obtained from her. And we accepted it. Just to piggyback off of that, there's a couple items we don't cover, which would be acts of nature. Kind of what Marcus was saying before, a tornado comes through, that's something that we do not cover. We don't cover wear and tear. So if that couch is on his last leg, we won't cover it because, of course, it's wear and tear. We don't cover lack of maintenance. So say, for instance, there was a toilet that was clogged up. Your plumber came in. He pulled out about 67,000 baby wipes. That's a lack of maintenance, which we wouldn't cover. And then the last would be like HOA fees. So say, for instance, your guests had a lot of trash. They put about 60 bags on the curb. Your HOA fee, HOA came back and gave you a bill for 500. That's something that we don't cover. And then the other would be formal events. If they're having a wedding, we've seen video shoots. We don't cover those. We only cover that singular residential stay.
Maria, Josh, any questions?
There's another question here. What is the benefit of switching from to Hostaway, right, on the insurance product? Well, first of all, is the all-in-one. You have manage all the needs that you have from one single place, from Hostaway. Also, there's no minimum listings required, and all under your one dashboard, basically, to submit your claim. So everything related to the reservation that happens to the reservation, the conversations, well, anything else, the process of the reservation is under one place, and no minimal distance. That's the main benefit.
I want to add another benefit, Maria, is no guest involvement. Say, for instance, that guest damages that couch. We don't want you to reach out to the guest to ask them how the couch was damaged. We know it was damaged. You take a photo, you send it to us. We're able to confirm it was true damage. Now, there are certain circumstances where, say, for instance, you put in the description, shower door broke. My team will reach out to ask, was it the guest or was it the staff? We've actually had a circumstance where the cleaning lady fell into the shower door, and we responded back saying, we don't cover the cleaning lady, only the guest. So the more descriptive that you are in our description section is going to give us a lot more information and a lot less back and forth with us asking questions to confirm the cause of loss and the facts of loss.
There's a good question here from Robert. Why go through Hostaway versus going directly with Safely? We do not bring out these products just because we think it would be fun to do it. We actually bring them out because our customers have reached out and said, this is something that I'm struggling with. This is something that's taking a lot of time. And managing these claims is something that is a distraction to the business. So having it in one dashboard makes it a lot easier, especially if you have an operations team that you're working with to teach them, hey, here's how you manage the claim. You take the pictures and you just upload them in Hostaway. That makes it a lot easier and a lot smoother for everyone. So that's one of the main benefits of going through Hostaway versus going directly to any insurance provider.
Yeah, so got one here. What is the cost of the insurance, and can we increase the coverage cost, right? So if we look at what's the cost of the insurance, there's different packages. So if you click inside of Hostaway, you'll see, I think we have 3 different packages right now to choose from. So you can check and see the prices there. When we have different geos, they're going to vary by geo and things like that too. But right now you can find that in the Hostaway platform. Can we increase the coverage costs? Same thing, right? So there's going to be different packages you can choose from for different things that are covered. Check out your Hostaway dashboard. You're going to be able to see it right there.
Right. And Brianna has another question, I believe, for Amber here. Brianna says that you mentioned some listings are not covered. What type of properties or listings would not be covered? Then Brianna has something I haven't heard about before, geodesic dome structures. I know what dome structures are, but I don't know what geodesic those structures are. But are they covered? Amber, I don't know if you even know the answer to that, but you can share a bit on the type of properties that are and wouldn't be covered.
I got the answer for you, Marcus. So regardless of the name of the structure, I'll call it a structure, right? What we cover is a property that is permanently affixed to the ground. It's not on wheels. It's not able to be moved. And most of the time where you want to define permanently affixed to the ground will be plumbing. Usually plumbing is our indicator to make sure that it is permanently affixed to the home. So I've seen where, in some circumstances we may cover a geo dome, but if it is able to be moved, if it's on wheels and it's not permanently affixed and it is not, and it does not have permanent plumbing, then we will not approve it or accept it. I'll say it that way.
All right, then there's a follow-up here from anonymous attendee again. If a guest breaks a window, is the glass replacement covered or also the extra cleaning to remove all the glass shreds? I think that's a fair question to ask you, Amber.
Yes, most circumstances we will cover it. However, I have had a couple instances where when we contacted the vendor, as well as we looked at the almanac, that it was a stress fracture from the weather, which is something that we don't cover. So we do our due diligence to make sure that the guest did, in fact, cause the damage. But most circumstances, you'll probably have your a real vendor come out and replace it. Usually that real vendor would give us some sort of diagnostic, and then we follow up to make sure that it was not a stress fracture or a thermal fracture, which is something we don't cover.
All right. I hope I'm not stepping on any toes here, but I wanted to explain to everyone a little bit about how insurance companies work, because a lot of the questions that we're getting asked here is about whether something is covered or how difficult it is. So an insurance company only makes money if they can sell insurance. If they have no customers, they won't make any money. And they do want to pay out on as many claims as possible because they don't make money by not paying out, because they buy reinsurance products that actually pay them. The one thing they need to make sure about is that they maintain their reputation. If they get a reputation of not paying out, that's going to mean they have no customers, which means they have no money. So it's against their interests to deny any claims. However, they will work with underwriters and reinsurance companies, and it's very important that those are aware of the technicalities involved. For example, when a claim is filed, I'm not talking about Safely here, I'm talking about insurance companies in general. When a claim is filed, that they've done the due diligence. For example, if someone sends in a picture, that they've actually looked at that picture, and they don't go snooping around. Instead, they just look at the numbers. So they compare that to other industry standards and see how many claims are approved versus denied and which categories are approved. There's also one aspect here. These reinsurance companies, they might be the same company that provides, let's say, the standard home insurance. So if something is covered there and is also covered by the Safely insurance product, then that would put the reinsurer in a tricky spot, which is why, for example, Safely has to exclude some items. I hope, Amber, I wasn't stepping on any toes here, but I see a lot of the questions here are related to whether this or that is covered. We want to make sure that as much as possible is covered, because that is the reputation here. If we go out as Hostaway and we sell insurance and then deny every claim, that's really bad for our business. That's bad for your business and bad for our business. So that's absolutely not what we want to do.
No, Marcus, you were right on point. It's just like I kind of have to tell folks, it's just like your auto insurance, right? You pay it every single month, but you don't expect to get the same amount that you paid in back. So we have to be lucrative as well, because whenever there's an instance where someone totally demolishes the home, then we'll be able to cover it because we have the money in reserve. So you're absolutely right, Marcus. As far as the coverage, and I'm so happy we're having this type of webinar, is I always like to get it in the forefront so that there's no frustration at the end saying, oh, I didn't know that the hurricane coming and tearing off my roof wasn't covered by Safely. Just us giving you as much information at the beginning will help with the frustration at the end. Another thing I like to tell my property managers is, I would rather you call me in 5 minutes than ponder for 20. If you had a question about our policy or had a question about coverage, please reach out to us, because I don't want you to have to waste your time, in a sense, to submit a claim, and vice versa. I've seen where my property manager says, well, I know this isn't covered, but I'm just going to submit it anyway so my homeowner can kind of get off my back. I have no problem being the bad guy. So if you if you know our product and you know your homeowner, sometimes the homeowners need to see it in writing, and we have no problem with putting that in writing for you as well.
All right. Are all the questions that we had? If Josh, Maria, anything else?
No, I'll just say to your point, Marcus, a lot of this is going to be, is this covered, how much this is, and things like that. Like, it's every situation. We can't go into every situation because there's a lot of unique scenarios that can go through here. And quite frankly, we're regulated on what we can say and we can't say versus Safely. Safely's the insurance provider. We're strictly just we provide the property management software and the integration to it, which is why it's not Hostaway Insurance powered by Hostaway. It's Hostaway Insurance powered by Safely. So there's some things we just can't talk about just because it's, again, regulation. However, if there's anything that you need to know, and we will get you to the right person, you can always reach out to us, customer success at hostaway.com, the need help icon inside of their Hostaway platform. We'll get you to the right person. We'll make sure you're taken care of. The customer experience, I talked about it with when I was doing my slides about why we partnered with Safely. Marcus just hit on it. Like we want to make sure all of our customers are successful, and we're not in this to make a whole bunch of money off of it. We're in this to make sure that you're successful. And so your experience matters with this. And so if you run into any questions, we know insurance can be kind of a finicky situation because of some of the reputation that insurance has across different sectors, right? But I can assure you the partnership we have here at Safely, we've really done our due diligence on that to make sure that they have the same interests as we are, which is making sure that our customers are taken care of. So reach out if you need help with it. And I think Carlo, you had something there about the ability to add the insurance fee on Hostaway. Absolutely, reach out to customer success. We'll show you how to do that inside of the platform. Again, no problem at all. But yeah, that's all I've got, Marcus. And look forward to everybody adopting insurance. The main thing I got out of this, guys, is that it's you guys are looking for it, and that we need to really push on getting it to different geos. So I saw Australia in here, which is amazing because you're up usually what time it would be in my that time I wake up very early in Australia. We'll get to that as well. But Europe is coming next. We'll have more information on that as soon as it comes out. But looking forward to hearing some more from you guys about how this insurance product is helping you and getting feedback on what we need to do to provide even more coverage here in every aspect of not just insurance, but across your entire business.
Thanks, everyone. The recording will be available in a few days. And if you have any questions that were unanswered, please reach out to customer success@hostaway.com. Talk to you later. See you next month.